the other way round, you would be rightly outraged. Why do you think it's acceptable as somebody running for office in the United States to be so blatantly... why would you be so blatantly hateful towards one group of people?
You call it hateful and bigotry and racist and all of that garbage. I call it the truth.
All right, this one might genuinely be one of the most bizarre political meltdowns we've seen in a long time. What started as a heated panel discussion quickly turned into something that had people across the internet asking the same question. Did that really just happen on live television? Because in this clip, we're about to watch what may honestly be one of the wildest moments ever to unfold on the Piers Morgan Uncensored panel. A moment that goes from controversial to uncomfortable to outright chaotic in record time. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, let me set the stage here. What you're about to see involves Valentina Gomez, a political figure who has built a reputation around outrage, controversy, and saying things designed to grab headlines. But even by internet standards, this exchange takes things to a completely different level. Because instead of a serious political conversation, what unfolds feels more like a full-blown public spiral, with comments that immediately spark backlash and leave multiple people on the panel stepping in to challenge what's being said in real time. And trust me, this wasn't one of those moments where somebody says something controversial and the room just moves on. No, the tension builds fast, the reactions get stronger, and before long, multiple members of the panel are stepping in to push back hard. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch this clip play out, break down exactly what was said, look at why people are reacting so strongly to it, and then I'll give you my full thoughts at the end. As always, I'll leave the full debate linked in the description below. But for now, buckle up, because this gets very strange very quickly. Let's get into it.
Why do you think it's acceptable to use a phrase like, so we can kick every dirty Muslim out of Texas?
Good morning, Piers. And since you didn't have the decency of introducing me correctly, I'll happily do it. Good morning to all of my beautiful people in England. Hello to all of my lads in the UK. Last time I was there, I had an amazing time. I'm Valentina Gomez. I will be the next congresswoman for the state of Texas, and I'm a warrior of the one true King Jesus Christ. And England and Piers, the United States and England was built by white Christian men that follow Jesus Christ, not by a bunch of Mohammeds. So let's get that cleared out right away.
Right. You haven't answered my question. Why do you, if it was the other way around, you would be rightly outraged. Why do you think it's acceptable as somebody running for office in the United States to be so blatantly... why would you be so blatantly hateful towards one group of people?
You call it hateful and bigotry and racist and all of that garbage. I call it the truth. America is a Christian nation. These Muslims come to Christian nations, burn our churches, rape our women, shoot our American soldiers point blank, killing one of them in broad daylight, then chanting Allahu Akbar. Piers, my brother is a National Guardsman. He literally puts himself on the line for this nation. So yes, these dirty Muslims have no place in America and have no place in England.
But as you speak, you see, I'm just seeing a brazen Islamophobe. And people say that phrase doesn't exist. It doesn't. And I'm sure you find it funny, but I think you can make perfectly pertinent points about what's happened here without descending into such vile hatred towards an entire religion. And there are 5 million Muslims in the United States. Why would you want to categorize them in such a grotesque manner?
Oh, and those 5 million Muslims should definitely go back to their 56 Muslim nations. And let's get something very clear right now in your little show, Piers. I don't fear the groomers. I don't fear the pedophiles. I don't fear the corrupt politicians. And I definitely do not fear the dirty Muslims.
Let me bring in...
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
No.
I mean, we should be clear about the fact. I mean, sure, Valentina is just a bigot, plain and simple, engages in the worst kinds of bigotry imaginable. But it's worth noting that she's fundamentally un-American, because the American Constitution says that you cannot discriminate against people based on religion. That is pretty clear. And so she's engaging in an anti-American campaign in the name of protecting America, which is just irony beyond imagination. So yes, she's a charlatan. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You can tell by looking at her that her IQ hovers around room temperature. To me, the real scandal is not engaging with her directly because she's beneath taking seriously. But the problem is with the GOP, that you have a major party in this country having a candidate running under its flagship, engaging in this kind of really incredibly hateful, incendiary rhetoric, and they do nothing about it. We've seen it with the dissent with Donald Trump himself, with the lawlessness that he has brought to the table and the corruption that he's allowed to get away with, without the party really standing up and putting country before party and before president. And you can see that slippery slope now leading to this level, where you have just a complete hateful clown like this person representing that party without the party objecting to it.
Yeah, you know
is
what?
leading us towards a very, very dark place in this country.
I actually completely.
All right.
I completely agree with you. There are perfectly legitimate.
No, Piers. And to
well,
the other
I actually do agree with him. I think your brazen bigotry is obvious.
Let's make something very clear, Piers.
Yeah.
I only discriminate against terrorists. These terrorists have no place in America. They have no place in the world. And the best type of terrorist is a dead terrorist. And let's look at your Quran. Your Quran 8:12 states to terrorize and behead those who believe in scriptures other than the Quran. And that Afghani, that dirty Muslim that killed Sarah Beckstrom.
It doesn't actually say that, and this is the problem.
And Andrew Wolf, who is
all right, let me bring in
Kasim.
Kasim Rashid. Welcome to Uncensored. If you'd like to say what you want to say.
Yeah, I co-sign everything Omar said there, and I think fundamentally this is where we are as a country, where rather than talking about real serious issues, we have these firebrands. I think she ran in Missouri, got 7%, moved to Texas to try to lose there as well. Look, the reality is that, we need to look at the facts here. And the facts tell us that immigration is a net positive in every single way to this country. The facts tell us, a Northwestern University study of the last 150 years found that at no point in American history have immigrants had a higher crime rate than born U.S. citizens. We're talking about Somalia, and we're talking about Minnesota. Well, Minnesota is the 4th best state in the country to start a business and to live and to work. It's the 15th safest state in the country as well. And so, the difference here is that we want the constitutional principles of due process of law to apply. And this, this idea that we're a Christian nation is contradicted by the founders of this country itself. We are actually a secular democratic republic where people can believe or not believe as they wish without oppression. And I think it's critically important that whatever our, political differences, we stand united on this basic principle that human dignity, human rights, religious freedom must be protected, even for those with whom I disagree, because at the end of the day, that's what the First Amendment requires, that's what the Constitution requires. If we lose that principle, then we deteriorate into fascism and anarchy, and I don't think anybody wants that.
Rob O'Neill, what do you feel?
So, after watching all of that play out, I have to be honest here. None of this actually surprised me. If you've spent any time online recently, chances are you've probably seen Valentina Gomez pop up on your timeline at some point. And every single time, it feels like the exact same formula. Outrage first, substance later, if there's any substance at all. Because, let's be real for a second. When you look at someone running for public office, you'd expect them to be focused on serious issues, right? Improving people's lives, building policy, bringing communities together, or at the very least, showing some kind of vision for the people they want to represent. But with Valentina Gomez, the impression many people walk away with is something completely different. Instead, what you tend to see are viral stunts, headline-grabbing moments, and deliberately provocative content designed to dominate social media conversations. Whether it's controversial demonstrations, inflammatory rhetoric, or highly theatrical political messaging, the strategy seems very clear. Stay in the spotlight at all costs. And here's the problem with that. Politics is not supposed to be performance art. If you want to represent actual people, you have to do more than trend online for saying shocking things. You have to build trust. You have to bring people together. You have to show voters that you're serious about governing, not just going viral. And that's why, in my opinion, this is where the disconnect happens. Because when your political brand becomes centered around outrage, eventually people start asking a very simple question. What exactly are you offering beyond controversy? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think this is genuine politics or just internet performance? And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and help us push toward that next milestone. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.